Welcome back. Today I'm taking a look at the Wuben L1 dual light source flashlight. Let's check it out. Let's start with everything the L1 comes with. Here's the box, typical Lumens and Runtime information on the back. Here's your holster, Velcro flap in the front. There's a Velcro belt attachment in the back with a plastic D-ring. In this bag is 2 spare O-rings, a nylon lanyard. This is your Type-C to Type-C charging cable, typical owner's manual, and the flashlight itself. Now let me get rid of all this stuff and let's take a closer look at the Wuben L1 here. So obviously the main feature here of the L1 is this dual head right here that rotates 180 degrees. That's a 2000 lumen spotlight and that is a 1000 lumen floodlight. It's 1000 lumens because this is the Osram P9 version, the cool white version, but I also have the Nichia 519A version. This is neutral white. Maximum lumen output of 600. So they give you the option of the Osram Cool White or the Nichia Neutral White, but of course you're gonna have to choose between 1000 lumens and 600 lumens. And I'll show you what the different emitters look like side by side when I do the beam test a little bit later on in this video. But whichever model you choose, the emitter and the spotlight will be the exact same, the Luminous SST40W. 2000 lumens and a throw of 350 meters. Now if you guys are familiar with the Luminous SST emitter, they do have somewhat of a problem with a green tint, and we'll check that out when we do our beam test also. Now, all of the lighting modes are controlled with dual side switches right here. The bottom switch controls the floodlight right there, and the top switch controls the spotlight. And you can see it does have a battery life LED right there that you saw flashing. I'll turn that back off and turn it back on so you can see it right there. That's not only a battery life indicator, it also glows red when charging and it glows blue when fully charged. And you can charge it right here with a USB Type-C charging port right on the body near the head. That's a fast charging USB Type-C port and it also doubles as a power bank. And on the inside of that flap there, you see a little silicone piece that fits right in the USB Type-C charging port. I like that extra bit of protection to make sure no dust or dirt gets in that USB port. Now let's check out to see what battery ships with the L1. This is a Wuben branded 3.7 volt, 4800 milliamp hour, 21700. And there is no Type-C charging port on this battery, so you have to charge it within the flashlight or an external slot charger if you have one. And this is a dual spring system. I know you guys can't really see in there, but there is a spring down near the head and there's a spring near the cap. And that helps minimize light interruption if you happen to jolt this flashlight or drop it. Also, a nice feature of the L1 is this magnetic tail cap right there. So you can see it's flat, so you can tail stand it very easy. Or if you need to mount this anywhere such as under a car hood, this magnet is fairly strong. So you can see it can hold this body weight completely horizontal. And that's saying something because this is a pretty chunky flashlight. In fact, let me give this a measure here. So completely extended right there is 130 millimeters, which is 5.1 inches long. And if I turn the head back in, it brings it to 4.8 inches, and that is in millimeters, 122 millimeters. And now a tail diameter, which is almost 28 millimeters, and a body diameter, which is 24 millimeters. And very quickly, let's weigh it. It comes in at 6.2 ounces, and that is 174 grams, and that is with the battery in it. So that's why I said the magnet is fairly strong in this, being 5.1 inches and 6.2 ounces, and can still hold its own body weight. I like it. Another plus of the L1 is it also has a 5-year warranty, which is very nice. But as I mentioned, the main feature of this bad boy is this 180 degree rotating head. So this feature alone makes this a pretty versatile light, especially when you can go directly from spot to flood or both at the same time, because you can see you can hit both of those at the same time, which is very, very cool. I can't really think of a scenario where I would need both on at the same time, but the point is it could still do it. And then couple that with this pocket clip, you can just put this in a shirt pocket and you can have the floodlight pointing straight out or just rotate it like this, and then you have your spotlight pointed straight out. But if you have it this way, be very careful and memorize which buttons do what, because I had this in my shirt pocket like this, hit the wrong button and got blasted with 1000 lumens right in my eye.
You blew it!
So that is one small negative that you can maybe get confused at which button here does which, especially if you don't use this every day. Because I accidentally hit this and boom, right in the face, wasn't cool. But I'm just saying, if you put this in a shirt pocket, be careful what buttons you hit. Also, this isn't really a negative, but I just wanted to mention it. If you do have it in your shirt pocket with the spotlight facing out, you can see the position of that pocket clip and how close it is to that bottom button there. Yes, you can slightly move it out of the way, but then you're a little cockeyed with the spotlight. So you definitely have to have that pocket clip facing out, and it just interferes with that button a little bit. But thankfully, that is the floodlight and not the spotlight. So that might be something to help you remember not to press that button. Also, I looked on the packaging, the owner's manual, and on Wuben's website. I can't find what material this is. I'm guessing it's typical 6061 T6 aluminum. I just don't know though. All right, now let's go over the lumens and runtime here. So the spotlight has 4 different lighting modes and 2 special modes, which is SOS and strobe. Low is 35 lumens, medium is 320 lumens, high is 1000 lumens and steps down to 320, and turbo is 2000 lumens and has a step down to 320. And of course, turbo is where we're going to get our maximum 350 meter throw and has an intensity of 30,625 candela. Strobe is 2000 lumens and SOS is 320 lumens. I'm not the biggest fan of SOS being so low. I like to have a brighter SOS, but let's move on. Our flood modes, let's start with the Osram P9, 25 lumens on low, 380 on medium, and 1000 lumens on high, steps down to 380, and a maximum throwing distance of 104 meters. And then the Nichia 519 has a low of 25 lumens, exactly the same. Medium is 380 lumens, exactly the same, but it has a high of 600 and it steps down to 380. So there's a 400 lumen difference between the Osram and the Nichia on high. And that has a 102 meter throw. And then you can see the intensities right there, 2720 and 2600 candela. It has a waterproof rating of IP68, which is fantastic, and an impact resistance of 1.5 meters. And the UI here is fairly simple. Let me just move this pocket clip out of the way. So this bottom button is the floodlight on top, a short press on, short press off. And when it's on, you just click and hold through all 3 lighting modes, low, medium, and high. And then the spotlight mode right here is this top button. Let's go ahead and same deal. Short press on and then click and hold, low, medium, and high. Those are your 3 cyclable modes. And then double click from any mode that's on, and that's turbo at 2000 lumens. And actually from here, that luminous SST doesn't look too green to me. Now let's try that low. Not too bad. I'll see what it looks like outside when it's darker here, not on this gray desk. To my eyes, that doesn't look green at all. Now let's do the special modes. Triple click goes to strobe. Triple click again, it goes to SOS. And then single click again, it goes right to the last lighting mode. And it does have a mode memory, so if I put it on low, turn it off, turn it back on, it goes right back to low. Now there is no button press lockout here, which could be a negative because these buttons are very easily pressed. You can see they stick out just slightly. So not having a button press lockout, sort of a negative, but you can always just give that tail cap a little tiny twist like that and it locks out the light. For me, I've been dealing with that a lot. So I've been getting used to just twisting the tail cap to lock out the flashlight. But it would still be nice to have a button press lockout on the L1. All right, let's start with the Osram version here. On flood, on low. There we go. Let's go right to medium. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. And then go right to high. This is the Osram at 1000 lumens right there. You can see that floodlight has a little bit of a spot right there. Motorcycle behind me. And sort of hitting that tree over there. I'll put up the distance between me and that tree. Is it hitting the barn over there? Yeah. It is hitting that barn, so that's nice. So that's the Osram. But let's go to the spotlight. Let me just make sure that's on low. It is, so that's low on the spotlight. Now this is going to be the same on both models. You can already see that much more well-defined hot spot right there. Pretty nice outer perimeter, medium. There we go. Scan across those trees. Easily hitting that barn down there, even on medium. And then high. Wow. Okay, and like I said, guys, this luminous SST is I'm not really seeing a lot of green here, which is surprising. The luminous SSTs are known for that green, and either they've fixed that problem or my eyesight is getting worse. Let's go to turbo. Let's hit that tree. Boom, boom. Nice. Wow. Very nice beam here. You can see, I mean, even in spot, that outer perimeter is fairly wide. You can sort of see that right there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put you down because I have to switch flashlights, and let's take a look at that Nichia 519A flood. All right, this is the Nichia version. It's going to be more of a neutral white that is low on flood mode. Let's just move right along. Can barely see it, but there we go. Medium. I'm really liking this flood mode here. Maybe not necessarily that low. It might be too low. And there's high, but I'm liking it. It is a very floody beam profile, as you guys can see. And this is 600 lumens. So I am still kissing that barn over there, but not as much as the other one. I can see that, and that tree, the same deal. So it is lighting up this backyard fairly well, but even though I like neutral white in my EDC flashlights, I think I would still go with the Osram version here just to get that extra punch of 400 extra lumens. And of course, we're going to have the same spotlight here. Boom, 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 and go to turbo. Very, very nice. So let's go to a different location. And this little guy right here just scared the heck out of me. It was banging against my wall over here, and I didn't know what it was until I got the flashlight on him. Big boy. All right. Let's go. So let's talk about the pros and cons of the Wuben L1 here. Let's start with the pros. One of the main features of this flashlight, and the biggest pro in my opinion, is this dual light source rotating head. It gives you a ton of flexibility by not having to choose a spot or a floodlight while heading out. And you guys just saw the beam profile. I think it's great. The spotlight mode is fantastic, 350 meters of throw, 2000 lumens. And I was worried about the green in that luminous SST, but I didn't really see any. And 1000 lumens with that Osram P9 in that flood mode, fairly floody beam, very nice, evenly spread out. I think this is fantastic. Another plus is this doubles as a power bank. So if your phone ever dies and you have this bad boy on you, just give it a quick charge. It has a fast charging USB Type-C charging port. The 5-year warranty is a plus. The IP68 dust and waterproof is a plus. Another pro is this pretty strong magnetic tail cap. So you can tail stand it, which I love, and you can put this completely horizontal and it'll hold its body weight. And let's be honest, that $79 price point is fantastic for a light this caliber. Now let's go over some negatives. They call this an everyday carry flashlight, actually a Wuben ECL everyday carry flashlight. But for me personally, this is not an EDC flashlight. I'll put this on a backpack, maybe in my car, or whatever loadout I might be packing for that day. This would go in it. I would not carry this on me or in my pockets at all. It's just a chunky flashlight for an everyday carry flashlight. 5.1 inches total length, that weight at 6.2 ounces. It's not crazy, but for me, too big. And another small negative, and I know I said I wasn't going to include this, but I am right here. The positioning of these two side switches. When you have this as a pocket light, sort of like this on your shirt, the pocket clip gets very, very close to that bottom side switch right there. I'm sure that could be easily fixed, maybe with a version 2, maybe move those side switches up a little bit or change the positioning, I don't know. But other than that, the L1 is pretty innovative and a highly functional, flexible flashlight, especially at $79 for these specs and this functionality. This should be $100 plus. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Wuben L1? Now, if you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!